Okay, yay. Hello, everyone. We are live.
Hello.
And yep, I'm just making sure. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Whenever that YouTube label appears, then I know that we are definitely in the air.
Yes. Yeah, because it's weird when I go back to watch it, like there's silence, like we're both waiting for like a little bit, and it captures all
Yeah.
of that, even though I'm still going through the process of joining this
Yeah.
Gmail, this live. Like there's like 6 steps to get you through the door.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So it's always interesting. And then I
Yeah.
share it
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
So now, yeah, I do have some news for you
oh, yay.
because, yeah, for you and the listeners, like we said in the previous live, that we for now will aim especially on new courses and new content in regard to the Petit Lenormand. Uh,
Mhm.
from now until March, I will make a new publication, and of course, all great courses derived from that publication will be due uh, at our Mystery Channel website and all that. After that, we will do the same with tarot and tarot history. So
Yes.
the next 6 months will be really, yeah, focused on cartomancy first, Petit Lenormand, and after that, the tarot.
Hmm.
And you know, people who follow me or have listened to the podcast. So for years, I somehow lost interest in cartomancy, or at least to read cards for myself. I never lost interest in the phenomena.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But whenever I'm like making new content, I have to really re-engage or
Yeah.
kindle the connection again with my cars. So I did some very interesting readings for myself in regards of projects, business wise, tips in regards of 2026 on how to tackle obstacles or to surpass them in a better way. Anyway, from that, and there was something really interesting because often it is really good to step outside of something for years and then come back to it, because then you somehow have a very new perspective on things.
Hmm.
And like what I said, so my publication in regards to Petit Lenormand, and like we said, the courses that we will provide at Mystery Channel, the old school courses, but also new stuff. And okay, that's perfectly, that those match with each other. But then you can aim for to read in a more therapeutical way from one of my visions as a therapist, or much more maybe in theatrical way as well. So we will do
Hmm.
also stuff about that. But for me, language is very, very important as a hypnotherapist. No, I'm not only as a hypnotherapist. Language is important.
Hmm.
Words do have power. That's the Jewish saying, "Abacadabra," is you create as you speak. And that is more than just a childish saying. So
Yeah.
that's really magic. Words contain magic, and words are actually also symbols in that
Hmm.
regard. But that's another kettle of fish.
Yeah.
So, and as you all know, I'm best known for reading the real traditional Petit Lenormand way, is reading the method of distance. And what
Yeah.
I always claim, so no, I don't find that there is either a method better than the other. I think everything works for whoever engages with it. And even if you are really like more modern way or like traditional, I think everything works. Really, I think if you are like ethical and you do it with the right with the right aim, it will always be okay. But what I really like about the traditional way of reading Petit Lenormand is the method of distance, and the very simple idea: if a bad card is close to you or close to the significator card, it's not good news. And if it's far away, yeah, it's good. So it's like within your reach, out of your reach, for good or ill. So I really liked it. But then I often read cards for people, and they really get a chance to jump into the reading as well, because those their life is mapped out right in front of you, and then you can point out. And that was always the way that I read for people. Someone explaining, okay, this is the sun, and the sun will shine on you, and it will give you success and all that. And people can relate to that. They can understand, so they can jump into that stuff. But a lot of particular Lenormand cards are not logically in that regard.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it's the language of its own. And then I was thinking, because I had like a reading for myself, and the whip was there. But then I said something to myself in order to create a new language that I can engage the sitter much better, because like the meaning, the traditional meaning of the whip, amongst other, is, for instance, is like discard. No, and no one in his right mind who does not know the particular law would guess that discard would be a meaning for a whip or a rod. So that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's not logical. So, but then I found out something to say in Dutch by accident. And then I was thinking, okay, but with the same, uh, would that be the same in English? And then I found out that in English, the English language also say to stir up dust. You see? And then I had so, oh, that will be something good to add on in my new work, because the whip will always stir up some dust.
Yes.
And people can relate to that.
Oh
And
yeah.
if we say so in the future, my work will be full of that.
No, yeah.
Better bridges towards a general understanding, because I like to have a better triangle in reading. And that's also
Hmm.
because I do like that therapeutic work and that connection and like hypnotherapy. But if we can make sure, and that's the aim of my future work, to engage the sitter, whoever that is, your sister or professional, or you're reading for fun, that they can jump with you in that tableau. And that's also in the therapeutical way. If people really want to make a click, then it's better for them that they do the aha moment, or that they can see it themselves. You
Hmm.
see?
Yeah.
And therein, well, language will be very important. So if I can explain it that way. So imagine that you have like the card of the sitter, and it's you, whoever is listening, and this is the whip, and the whip will stir up dust in your life.
Hmm. Yeah.
And you can understand that if it's close to it, yeah, and the stirring of dust is either discord, or maybe if there are other health cards to do with fever and all that. And if there was an underlying question of discord and the whip is far away, then
Yeah.
I could say, okay, the dust will be settled.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
something maybe stupid, but the big advantage in that is that people can engage in that reading, and the more they can engage, the more that they understand, the more that they see how their life is done before
Yeah.
me, the better.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm always like thinking and making impact, but this is something very difficult. But I was playing with the idea, and I give it to you guys. I think it might be better if we switch the tableau the other way around. If I was reading cards for you, that I dealt reversed. You see that you would look at the tableau instead of me.
Mm, yes.
Yeah,
See what
wouldn't that?
pops.
Yeah, but I think maybe that's interesting, that it can make much more impact, because
Oh yeah.
they see it. What I want to say is that I think that we let a lot of chances. We let it for what it is, and we have to grab them to make more impact, to really do something with the symbolism,
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
that the symbolism also evokes that what you explain to them
Yeah.
as a more impactful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yes, and those are. stupid small things that can make me really happy and kindle my interest. And because for all the cards, I have so many new ideas and bridges. So I will not invent new meanings. No, that will never be, because in the end, I'm very relaxed in that. But in the end, for myself, I'm really traditional in regards of those meanings. So,
Yeah.
and again, I'm not saying traditional reading is be all and all. No, everything works, even if you invent something. So
Hmm.
that's not the case. But for me, it's important. That's the way how I want to read cards, and that's the way how I, yeah, would do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but those are the things here, and I see my task to upgrade the understanding, first of
Yeah.
all, of the text, but also in new ways of reading cards in a
Yeah.
more psychological way in order to make more impact.
Yeah.
And in the future, Morgan and I, we already talked about that. We can also, and we will provide courses and even to use hypnotic techniques in order to make more impact.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely. Oh my gosh. I know. I
Yeah,
feel like there's,
because words are magic.
yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, absolutely. Oh, go
So
ahead.
yeah, those are small things I was engaged in. So yeah, and it really released me that I really, for the first time, really um, had a good feeling with reading cards again. So and again, I was never against it. And I really like the phenomena of divination and all that, but I never wanted to be a diviner. But I rather like to be the researcher to yeah to look at, yeah, and the way I will do it from now on. So yeah, that was the use I had, and I really are falling in love again with the grande there.
Oh, yes. Yes. I know. I am excited about that.
Yeah, but we will zoom in on that, from March, April, May, June, when we come with the tarot part.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and there I will bring a lot of new insights on history.
Hmm. So that'll be fascinating. I think how it adds.
So stay tuned. Make sure that you follow us for more particular and more tips. We did talk a lot of other techniques I read from the books, so you can find them on our YouTube channel, on Spotify. Yeah,
Yeah. That's, yeah, I took a bunch of the, what, anytime you dived into, the Lenormand, the tips, like the other systems, and when you read from the book, I put it all on our podcast too. So any podcast channel you have subscribed to, it will be in there as well. So,
yeah, yeah. Well, so yeah, I if you follow us, we do a live each Tuesday, each Sunday, and from now until the publication, I will give some hints, free to go, some insights, yeah, some ideas,
yeah.
because this is where we will go next level with the subject. So I like, I'm playing also with a title in my head,
Oh,
and
nice.
for now, I think
Oops.
that I will call that publication from the Grand Tableau to the Tableau Vivant.
Oh,
And that is
yes.
like from the cards on the table towards real life.
Yes. I think it's exciting, and people in the comments agree. So
It's good.
there's
Thank you
excitement
very
for that.
much. Yeah.
The comment. Yeah. So because it,
So yeah.
it is exciting.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying because it's like you said, especially for your like excited about it again, seeing it in this new way, seeing it more layered. It's gonna really just add to everything you've already done, but put it further, like put it in a completely different way. And I think that's what Lenormand definitely would need to, because like Lenormand is an exciting thing, but now seeing how you
Yeah.
see it differently after taking a break, because it's like fresh eyes now.
yeah, and I'm a really fan of course, reading distance, but it's my one-trick pony. That's maybe the only thing I really
Oh,
can.
no.
Yeah, but you have to do what you're best at, But in the end, yeah, that's really simple definition. Uh, yeah, and the big advantage in that, but that's what I find so important because I think in order to make impact, you have to have connection. You see, and otherwise it's like I think the more you can engage the city in this life, because the life is dealt literally between you,
Hmm. Yeah.
and you are looking at that. But I think I'm very much influenced by my therapeutic work because that's also for some, for me, that's the same like if we do like systemic work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even if you do it like on a table with some figures, whatever those are, and that's the same. Their life or their upbringing is mapped out.
Yeah.
You see, and I most of the time do it on like on a table with figures. Yeah, and then we can somehow really also, um, yeah, actually dive into that life because then they will say, okay, here's my father, he's standing there, he's like throwing a shadow over me. Okay, do you want to get out of the shadow? Okay, remove yourself,
Yeah.
put yourself further away,
Oh,
as a
yeah.
concept is somehow the same. You
No,
see, and
yeah.
that's also the next thing. What I want to do it more like in a visionary, therapeutical way, uh,
Yeah.
that we
That's,
remove the snake
yeah.
from your life.
Yeah. That,
Yeah, and the fox and the mountain, whatever that is, and that we talk about that. But I will provide a whole new way of reading cards in that regard from a more counseling standpoint, and perfectly suitable to, yeah, to also bring in other cartomancy systems like tarot or like you do with your Akashic records and all that.
hmm yeah. That would be, was it somebody commented that deeper perspective, divine foresight 33, deeper perspective. Yeah. For what
Yeah,
you're saying.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, I think that the time has come that we take it next level.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah. I think so too. Because with just like with any system, like you said, from a therapeutic standpoint, you should always be growing with something, always expanding, always going further instead of just staying the same. 'Cause, the same thing you always do is only going to get you the same results. So taking it that next step grows it further.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I had so many insights since, yeah, I was always like in coaching and counseling, but my therapy business really took off exactly when I somehow decided to be solely a therapist. And because when my books came out around 10 years ago, I already quitted to be a card reader for years. I was really still really much interested in the system and all that and the history. But yeah, if you're like a therapist and you see people on a daily basis, and then you start to think, okay, what really makes a difference with people? And there's no one size fits all in the end. What
Hmm.
works for you may not work the same. So if you have only like fixed protocols, I think you miss out on a lot of stuff.
Oh,
But
yes.
what but when I looked back in the days in a critical way to myself and reading cards, I always wanted to give a lot of information, a lot of words, you know.
Hmm.
But sometimes it's better that the person in front of you is talking in a therapeutic way, But sometimes it's also good to work with silence, and yeah, with maybe let them read the cards, and if you
Yeah.
are able to let them explain, okay, this card will stir up some dust and it's beside of you, and here is like the fox, and those two don't. go together. Who is that fox that will stir up some dust? Do you have foxes in your life? Because maybe you have like an enemy because the mountain is there.
Hmm.
You see? But if people then, if you could ask them, okay, but that fox, who is that? Yeah, it's probably my friend or my husband or what. But how do you want them to become? And is this even possible? Or do you want them to go away out of your
Yeah,
life,
yeah,
you know? And
yeah,
if you then would be able to explain to people, okay, um, will you exchange this card for a better card? This is a card for harmony or joy, like the heart, but this is the card of flowers for luck and all that. And even by exchanging that in a more ritualistic way, you can
yeah,
also open up new things. And that should not be the core business of your reading, but that would maybe something very good to round it up.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, here this was the way it was. Here you are going to something
yeah,
like that. You know, and you should really not underestimate the the impact of that image because a lot of people, and I also test them who do like systemic work. I want them to take pictures
yeah,
of the constellations, you know, and then
yes,
I often ask them, okay, but what do you think about that? So it resonates what I say here, but look at the picture whenever you have time, whenever you feel to do so, maybe after a month or 2 months, you know, and they
yeah,
also come up with a different story
yeah,
because they somehow understand the way how I
yeah,
was giving my interpretation of that. And that's never a fixed thing. You know, that's
yeah,
also something very spontaneously. And if they understand that they can somehow read it themselves,
yeah,
yeah, then you have like a head-on collision.
hmm,
And
yeah,
from there comes the ID, because you also give the people the ID that they um, can do something in their life,
yeah, yeah,
so that they are not like a victim.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so important. Yeah,
Yeah, you know, and that's also something funny with cards. You know, I'm way too stubborn to listen to cards. I think, you know, I do it anyway
yeah,
if I feel so. So I would I would rather ask things. Okay, what is the least possible obstacle? But I will
yeah.
do it anyway. So maybe
Simplify.
I'm way too stubborn. Yeah,
No, no, no.
but some people also like that idea. They say,
No,
okay,
yeah,
for me, this is very much important, or that's non-negotiable. And I don't
yeah,
want to know the bad news. I want to know how I get there.
yes, yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's also if you then know your city and you know who they are and what they really like and what they, yeah, it's much more like how you call it, yeah, individual work with yeah,
hmm,
with who people really are.
no, that's so true. Plus, how they'll relate
Yeah.
to it then differently, their way.
So that will be what we will provide in regards of cardiology courses. You know, really in-depth new things. You know, and you will the ultimate traditional stuff will stand next to innovation
Yeah,
as a good derivation from that. But besides that, you know, I'm really into learning new techniques. Um, even maybe use things out of mentalism in
hmm,
order to make more impact.
yes. Oh, yeah, that would be very yeah interesting. There's so much yeah of the therapy that you could use that people just like they keep it so in boxes like the therapy, hypnotherapy,
Yeah,
cards, and then chakras or yoga. But like you could put it all together. Like you could combine systems to really have that. And you can see how you can combine systems, just like you said with that pyramid. Start drawing the cards on the pyramid,
yeah. You know,
or the
and
Kabbalah.
yeah, yeah, voilà. But I in therapy, that's maybe something funny, but someone called me like Dr. House of
Oh,
therapy because I get always like the exceptions and all these and I do have like cases I don't know to get my head around because I often have people like with selective mutism, for
yeah.
instance, that they don't speak, that is somehow. Yeah, so I'm like sitting there in my cabinet with the parents and then the child behind me because I can not watch them in their eyes, and then I have to find something how to get in contact with them and I always succeed, but it's never like the same. But to be in a room to really, if there is no clue, just sit there and do what your subconscious mind or your instinct says. That's something
Oh,
really, really powerful. And you don't have to be afraid to start because maybe you are not, yeah, when you throw a bait that you have like a bite, but there is always something happening.
yeah, yes.
But I'm drifting far away to somehow substantiate, yeah, where I come from. And that's also where I can make a difference.
Hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely.
So that's where we go for to
Yeah,
make the
yes.
difference. Not to reinvent the wheel. Well, the wheel is already invented, but we make it faster, sharper, more luxurious.
Oh, yeah, get right to the heart of things. Quicker way to get from
Yeah,
A to B
yeah,
and more exciting. It's an adventure.
yeah, yeah. So anyway,
Yes.
if you like this, if that's also what you want to innovate your readings, to broaden your perspective, to even get a much more like a philosophical approach or a philosophical approach, or even like more like a magical approach,
Yes.
it will
Oh,
all be there. Also to kindle the authentic way of how you read cards. And
yes.
that should really be different as whoever
Oh,
different.
yeah.
No
No,
marching,
absolutely.
marching Korean army. No, be
Yeah, no, no.
authentic.
Yeah. No, I've always found that when reading cards, if I start to think about what the rules are with the card or what, overthink it, then I stop my actual own intuition, subconscious, and everything. And then you can't think of what it is besides so it's like
Yeah,
really diving into the cards your way because then you start seeing things that you might not have noticed if you're sticking with someone else's way. That's what I've always noticed. If I try and stick with how people tell me to do it, it's like blank. It's like all the cards turn white, instead of how I
absolutely.
read.
Yeah, yeah, and often it's so powerful if you dare to be also vulnerable in a room and being okay that you don't know it right away. And I really
Yeah.
think that it also applies with gardeners
Yes. No, it's true. Definitely.
because when I was still reading cards, for me it was often like, yeah, it's like top spot. I had an idea. It had to be right. It had to be the right amount of information. I had to take the right amount of risk. I had to, you see, but I was
Yes.
like
Yeah.
proving myself, and that's also maybe like ego.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, ego at once. But also, yeah, if it's not right, people will not come back. If you have to make a living from that, yeah, you also have to make good readings, and people validate that if things are right or wrong.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah. No, it's true. That's why I like how you said they're in the card readings, that they're interactive with the card readings. Because I had a reading a while ago, so I packed all my bags, but I left the decks. I left one of the deck bags. So for Lenormand, all I had was like a Halloween horror deck, which whatever, I guess I was working with that. So when you do the reading, you pick the significator, the man or the woman, and then put the cards around it. And the person at the end was like, I saw you pick that card at the beginning. Is there a reason you drew the monster card? Because the man was the monster card. So I was like, oh, because he thought I was like trying to so I like that, like bringing them into it, because explaining hey, this is the only deck I have, and the
Yeah.
man card is a monster. you
And
know?
then you know to say, whoever fits the shoe.
Yeah, yes. So, yeah, so double checking before I leave the house now. Always have all my bags.
Yeah, yeah, organization does help. Organization does help.
Yeah, yeah, no.
You see, but if you have survived and you are like in a crisis situation, and whenever you deal with that, you really upgrade yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
It has to be that way.
yeah. No, it's true.
So yeah,
Very
voila,
nice.
people, if you like this, if you want to be part of that, we take things further, uh, upgrade them, give them more layers, make it more interesting to, yeah, step outside of the box. Yeah, follow us. Make sure that you are here on Sundays, on Tuesdays. If you miss out on the live, make sure that you follow all the channels that we are about, because I will lift a lot of the veil until the publication and the courses is due. So the old school courses, particularly the more courses, I give new material on that. But it's like old school condiments, they will be first due, and then by the end of March will be the publication, a book. But at the same time, or right away, or maybe earlier, we will provide courses
Hmm.
on that book at Mystery Channel. So stay tuned. And after that, we tackle the subject of tarot in regards of history, but also with my new insights on, yeah, reading in a way that it can give more depth or, yeah, innovation.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Like, yeah, I always had like a vision on tarot and cardaments, and it had to go the way it as, yeah, I stepped out of it for like years, and then I encountered by accident uh, this really great lady, and she really kindled my interest in that again. And now she also provided me a stage to, yeah, to see how I saw it differently,
Hmm.
and it had to be this way. And now I come back and I put on it a lot of ideas and stuff I gathered from counseling
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
coaching and all that, because I came from the coaching world and with top sports people, more like in a therapeutical way, working with cards. Then I had to decide that, yeah, I have to let go of those cards, because maybe also, to be honest, I wanted to be taken seriously as a therapist. And that's maybe also something strange, but I don't find Carl Manson strange, but that is in my head. And I was thinking, okay, but then they see me maybe as like a Carl Manson, not as like a serious therapist. And that's something in my head, this is projection, I think.
No, it's,
But that's the way it is. I also want to be honest. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
just human like you all are,
yeah.
with
No,
my flaws, with my
oh,
IDs, with wrong IDs, with right IDs. Yeah, blah, but that's the way it is, Mark.
oh, yeah. No, I know I
It's
mean, that's
open,
half
no
the,
strings.
yeah, no, yeah. But that's why half the reason people don't dive into, things that they want to do, stay with subjects they want to do, because it's so strong, the perception of others. I had this one woman I knew who her husband was a huge lawyer, so she felt like she had to hide half of herself because how the lawyering community would perceive her. So it's really like shutting off things that you might, like you were saying, you thought, might not be taken seriously. So cut off something that was so, important to you,
Yeah,
but that does happen. It's just human, like how we all are, that we do that even without thinking sometimes, I think.
yeah, yeah. But at the same time, you also have to make a living, so you don't take too much risk with that. You see, it's not
No.
something that you
Yeah.
can experiment with that has no, how you call it? Yeah, it can have a lot of disadvantage, and that's also, but that's like fear, huh? That's fear, I know. Yeah.
No, it's yeah, no, I get it. I no, trust me, I get it. That's what I started, like the different careers, because I was like, what job could I get where I could still dress like how I want and adventure, you know?
Yeah. So,
But
but
not a lot of
you,
jobs.
yeah, but now we come back and we take best of both worlds, and it will be a trend.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Anyway, guys, we have to round it up. I have to go
Oh,
to
okay.
bed, and
Okay. Yes.
make sure, people, that whenever you're seeing this now live or later on, make sure that you're here on Tuesdays, Sundays, or later on. Follow us, because yeah, we will bring something really, really new and outside of the box.
Yeah, yes. And email sign up. Definitely sign up for the email because that's where you'll get everything first. So,
Listen to Morgan.
yes. Yeah.
See you on Tuesday.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.